Hey guys, welcome back. I hope everybody had a good Christmas and New Year's. Me and the family sure did. Had a big crowd over for Christmas dinner. And now we've going to give you an update on progress of the Volkswagen project we've been working on. We've made our major cuts on the fifth wheel. Changed that bus into a fifth wheel. Right now we're in the process of filling in door seams on this baby. It's basically using a combination of thin glue and styrene pieces mixed in a little jar for body filler. And so what we've been doing is filling and sanding and filling and sanding. This door is pretty much done on this side. I still have the A-pillar. A-pillars on both sides to finish, and there's a little touch-up on the recess where the Volkswagen emblem was on the front edge. Still have this side to do. We've done a little bit, but I put some more filler in there, and I primed it so when I start sanding I can see where what's high and what's low, and whether I need to put some more filler in that to get that smoothed out to make those door lines disappear. Other than that, it's coming along pretty good. We've got the front filler in for the bottom and the deck on the top cut out and glued to the body panels. Excuse me. So this body will still lift off of here in the frame, and this vertical piece is attached to the chassis. What else have we got? Probably gonna figure out how I'm gonna get a bed up in this front section. I've been experimenting with some foam and spray painting it. The other thing I may do is make a bed out of clay, because I've used a lot of clay in my dioramas I built for my 1/35 scale military builds, doing road base and desert sand base, and even making clay, or using clay as for making sandbags for some of my military builds I've done in the past. Anyway, that's still kind of plans and thinking of what's going to go on here for a bed in the front, but that's a little further down the road. That's kind of where we are with the bus. We've got some cabinetry finished off for the inside of this thing too, that we scavenged out of the camper one, and it's fitted in there, all painted up, and the seat for the back, oh come on, work with me, and the seat's gonna sit in there kinda like that. Anyway, so we got the cabinetry figured out and fitted in there. It looks like I've got all my clearances for roof and whatnot to go on top of there, so that shouldn't be a fit issue. Turned out pretty good. I had to keep it kind of retro with the 70s theme of this thing, seeing how we're using 70-ish Volkswagens for this combo. So I went with the wood grain kind of 70s theme on cabinetry inside. Seats in the fifth wheel are going to match the seats in the pickup truck. It's kind of a light tan and a darker tan for the seat section of it. But we've got that all detailed up and actually turned out pretty good, I think. So that's kind of ready to go. Where are we with the pickup truck? Hang on one second. We got motor glued in, painted up, fifth wheel hitches painted up and in place. We've got it plumbed. Got my upper and lower rad hoses running up to the firewall, and as I mentioned in my previous video, I'm not going to run plumbing from the firewall up to the front. We're just going to pretend it's there. As I mentioned, it's going to be more of a static build than a fully functioning model. Air cleaner, no matter what I tried to do, I wasn't happy with any kind of air filter snorkel coming out the throttle body in the front. So what I decided to do is take a piece of solder and run it from the throttle body over to the side compartment over here, and we're going to pretend that it actually has an air intake inside this side panel on the Volkswagen. So we're going to pretend the air cleaner is in behind there and the air pickup is there. And I just roughed up that solder with a diamond bit on my Dremel tool, just to roughen it up, just to give it some contrast between the radiator coolant pipes on it. I've got battery wired up to starter, alternator wired up to a little regulator on the side. Fifth wheel hitches all painted up, of course, and installed. And I think I got my heights where I want them. And if you take this without wheels on it, come on. If you take this without wheels on it, come on down here. It's going to be about the perfect height. Now I got to get the camper top, and I still have to narrow the camper top on this thing, and that'll be with the camper top down. We still need to narrow that and adjust the curvature for a roof on that. And of course we got to narrow the pop-up top of it as well. Where do you go? Kind of like that. Anyway, that's where we are in the Volkswagen, guys. We got a little progress going on all over the place, and I thought I'd give you a look-see and see where we are in this thing. Wood grain's done. Did a tan acrylic base coat, and used an artist oil paint. Put a dab of oil paint on a paper towel to soak up some of the oils in it, and just use a toothbrush to dry brush it on. And then I used the satin acrylic sealer to seal the oil paint on there. So basically the bed is done. I still have the metal ribbing to go down the bed of the truck. Probably gotta still have to prime that and figure out whether I'm going to chrome foil each of those strips. And of course, now that we've chopped up the bed of the truck, I'm going to have to cut all these individual pieces to length and fit them on there. So that'll be a tedious task, but that's a little bit further down the road. Another little thing that I have done is modelers are always looking for new tools to add to their repertoire. So what I've done is I've added to my arsenal of tools the old toothbrush modification for a sander, and this is almost my new best friend. So I've just bought a electric toothbrush off of Amazon and some refill heads, and what I've done is taken a pair of pliers, needle nose. Hang on, get this where I can see what I'm doing here. And if you just take a pair of needle nose pliers and grab onto those really firm and give it a twist, they'll pull right out. There's a little metal insert they use to shove in the head of that. But if you just go around and grab them real close to the base and give them a twist, they'll pop right out of there. So once you go through and do that to all of them, is once they're all popped out of there, is I take a just a sanding disc, make sure the surface is flat, sand it down. Then I just cut out some different grits of sandpaper with a pair of scissors. Just trace a template out from the head, and then all I do is lay it upside down on the table and put a dab of hot glue on the on the head of the brush, and then just press it down on the table really firm until the glue cools, and that way you get a nice flat surface, nice flat sanding surface. And even if the glue oozes out the sides, you can just come back after it's cool and just peel it off, and these discs will come off really easy just by getting your knife or your fingernail under there and peel them off, clean the glue up, and you can make another disc to put on there. So anyway, that's my new tool of favorite lately that I've done. So that's kind of it, guys. That's a quick update on progress of this baby, and we'll keep you posted as things go along. And as usual, take care, you guys. See you in a while.